Hello everyone. In this video, we will be going to see how to create an automated data preprocessing pipeline using AWS Lambda. So let us see the workflow. First of all, you have to create an S3 bucket. So there will be two S3 buckets. One is for raw data and another one is for processed data. Once the bucket is created, now you have to create an IAM role with some certain permission. Next, you have to create a Lambda function and you have to copy paste your Python script there. Now you have to deploy it. After that, when you upload a file in raw data, it will automatically get processed and stored in processed data bucket folder. You can see its log in Amazon CloudWatch. Now let us see the demo. So first of all, I am going to AWS Management Console. The first thing that you have to do is to create an S3 bucket. So search here for S3. Now you have to create two buckets. One is for raw data and one is for processed data. So click on create bucket. So let me just create it for raw data. Now allow all public access, acknowledge this thing and click on create bucket. Let me just make it a small letter. Click on create bucket. Now your raw data bucket is created. Now you have to create a bucket for processed data. So here you have to write processed data 4567. Now here you have to allow all public access and click on acknowledge. Now click on create bucket. Next, in the raw data, you have to create a folder. Let me name it as raw data. Now click on create folder. Similarly, in the preprocessed data, you have to create a folder called as preprocessed data. Now click on create folder. Once this is done, now you have to create an IAM role. So search for IAM. Go to roles option. Click on create role. In the AWS service, you have to select as Lambda. Now click on next. Here you have to give some permission. So there are three permissions required. First one is S3 full access. Next we require Lambda full access and Lambda basic execution role. Now you have to click on next. Now give the role a name. So let me just name as data 4567. Now click on create role. Once the role is created, now you have to create a Lambda function. So search for Lambda. In the Lambda function, you have to click on create function. Name it as Data Prep. Select the runtime as Python. And in the default execution role, select an existing role which is data 4567. Now click on create function. So first of all, you have to define your trigger, which is basically the source. So my source is S3. So I'll click on add trigger and select the source as S3. Select the bucket which is raw data. Now click on acknowledge and add. Once your source is configured, the next step is to do some general configuration. So click on general configuration, and here in the edit, give the memory as 500 MB and timeout as 10 minute 30 second. Now click on save. Now you have to go to code section. Now in order to save some time, I have written a Python script which will process the data and save it in a process data folder. Now this is the code that I have written. So you have to modify two things here, which is your output bucket and output folder. So output folder is same. My output bucket is, let us see, which is process data 4567. Now let me just write processed data 4567. Now in this code, what is happening? Let us say you are uploading a file in S3 bucket. Now it will read that raw data and it will process it. In the preprocess data function, there are several steps, such as you are imputing the missing values, you are removing the duplicate values, you are removing the outliers, and after that you are performing label encoding. Once the data set is processed, you are saving it in a process data folder. Now let me just copy this code and paste it here. Now here you can see I am loading one library called as pandas. So whenever you load any external library, what you have to do, you have to create a pandas layer for that. So for that, go down, click on add a layer. In the AWS layer, you have to select pandas Python and the version is 9. Now click on add. Now your layer is successfully added. So remember that whenever you are importing any external library, you must have to add a layer. Now once it is done, you have to click on deploy. But before that, let us check output bucket is correct. Yeah, it is correct. And output folder is correct. It is correct. Now you have to click on deploy. Now you have successfully deployed your Lambda function. Now you have to go to your raw data file. So go to your raw data bucket, and here you have to upload a CSV file. Now let me upload one of the CSV file, which is lone default. Now click on upload. Once the file is uploaded, it will automatically process the CSV file and save the process content in process data folder. Now you can see your file is successfully uploaded. Now you go to your Lambda function, click on monitor. Now check the logs. Click on view CloudWatch logs. Click on here. Yeah, now it is saying that you have executed the file successfully. Now let me go to my S3 bucket, go to my processed folder. So let me go to the bucket, process data. In the process data, you can see that your cleaned file is getting stored. Now you can download this file. And you can see its content. It is currently loading. So this is loaded. So here you can see that the file is automatically get cleaned. So in this video, we have learned how to perform automated data preprocessing using AWS Lambda concept.